Good morning, lovely humans. Guess who's sick? Oh. So, lovely humans, it has been a few hours. I thankfully managed to fall back asleep, and I'm feeling slightly more rested, but frankly, still awful, as I'm sure you could hear from the sound of my one working nostril. But what I wanted to do today initially was to show you guys a what I eat in a day video that had to do specifically with getting back on track after the holidays. They are all over now. I think overall I did decent, but I did still gain a pound, which I am annoyed about, and it's my own fault. But it's kind of hard for me at this point, if I'm surrounded constantly by really rich, really sugary food, to not go ham. And I will say, I actually did phenomenally this year in terms of the amount. If I had dessert, I was having smaller quantities of dessert. If we went out to eat somewhere, I tried to order either a healthier thing on the menu, or I tried to cut it in half and take the other half home. It was just the quantity of like how many holiday parties, how often dessert was available, all of that got me a little bit off track, and I feel like my body is like begging and pleading for some vegetables at this point. We're basically getting all of those habits that I talked about a few weeks ago back on track. So I'm still working with the personal trainer, but we're going to try and transition into the gym. It's either this week or next week. I got to check my Train Well schedule. I do still use them. This video is not sponsored by them, but I do have a link down below if you would like to try your own personal trainer. They're phenomenal. That has been kind of a godsend this year and last year for my physical fitness. So I'm going to try and transition into the gym once I, if not, I don't know, possibly sending the plague to people. Yes, get a pull out! We are going back to the whole I have a serving of dessert, and if I do have a serving of dessert, I have to skip a day before I have it again, because I noticed the cravings were kind of sneaking back, and it's because I had dessert like 5 days in a row, and I was like, girl, no. Holidays or not, that's excessive. So we're getting that back on track, and my focus where I'm trying to actually cook things like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so that I can make it a habit and a routine. That is the number one most important thing to me right now, so that I can, one, get some veggies, but also just find more meals that will work for me, especially because I don't plan on being on Zepbound my entire life. So when I get off, I know that the hunger is going to come back a little stronger, and of course the cravings are going to come back. So if I have my meals that I know are healthy and doing a little better in place, heck, we're not gonna talk about the bags, okay? But if I have those in place, it'll be a lot easier for me to transition off it eventually. For today, we are doing the what I eat in a day little homesick version. I at least feel better since I got a little bit of sleep, woke up with all of my fuzzy little nursemaids curled up around me because they're like, Mommy, what's wrong with you? But the focus of today is still going to be similar to what I would have been doing on the, getting back on track after the holidays. And it's getting as much nutrients as I could find in my fridge, pantry, and freezer in my body as possible. One, so I could feel freaking better in terms of my trash can immune system, but also so that I can just feel better physically and digestively. And so I don't know about y'all, but I am ready for breakfast. How about you? Are you hungry? What are you staring at? Welcome to the kitchen. I decided this morning that I was going to go with one of my old favorites. I'm actually taking a leaf out of Beatrice Caruso's book, and I have been gradually compiling my very own recipe book with just healthy recipes specifically that I have found and loved. I will say mine is not as creative as hers, but I did try to at least spruce it up a little bit with each design of each recipe. Some of them have just gotten to the point where I'm like, you know what, that's okay, they're scribbled on paper, but it still works because I have something healthy to refer to. So this one is going to be a chocolate protein smoothie, a slightly adapted version. So every time I make this smoothie recipe, I change it a little bit. I always use Premier Protein as the actual protein powder simply because I bought a giant tub of it and it's taking me forever to go through it. I normally use regular peanut butter, but whenever we cleaned out the pantry, I found out that I actually still have some of that PB Fit powder. It's supposed to be healthier, but full disclosure, I have never ever liked it, but I've never tried it in a smoothie, so I'm hoping that it will give you enough peanut butter flavor without the gross flavor when it's in a smoothie. Date pieces are in it, just a couple of them, just to kind of help with the sweetness. I normally would use a frozen banana, but all I had was fresh, so if it's a little more liquidy, that's okay. Now, anytime I make a smoothie, I always add a couple of staples just to make sure I'm getting a little bit of extra nutrients as well as fiber, and those three things are going to be the organic hemp hearts, the chia seeds, and the ground flax. And I do feel like that helps. I am having issues with hypermobility, and that can be addressed a little bit better based on how you do your diet. One of the things that my doctor recommended to me was just trying to up my overall fiber content, which honestly is a big struggle for me because veggies and fiber just don't come naturally. So I am working on it. If you guys are good about eating your veggies and you found any good ways to sneak them in, I would love to hear it. I'll be adding A2 milk for the liquid, simply because it has less in the way of like additives and antibiotics with the cows they get it from. One of the things that I also noticed is that my water intake has gotten off track lately, and y'all know the struggle. We're like super good for a week, we're chugging like crazy, we're peeing almost clear, and then the holidays happen and it's like, wait, water instead of eggnog? What?
Yeah, but I don't wanna.
So to give myself a little extra inspiration, I got my favorite cute little water jug that says drink your water right meow. And since I not only need water, but I need more fiber, one of my doctors had recommended to me to get Benefiber just to kind of help balance it out. You just dissolve it in your drinks. It is completely tasteless. I have no issues getting it down or anything like that. And it just adds a little bit of extra fiber daily when I'm struggling. If you are good about having a balanced diet, this is not something you will need at all. But I feel like when you're sort of in the beginning and you're like, ugh, vegetables, this is kind of a good substitute, and it helps a little bit just to kind of make things in your tummy zone digestively nice and lubricated. Ew. I'm going to keep this by my bed today because I'm not going to be doing a ton of activity since I also need to recover, but this way I have hydration nearby. We have our smoothie made, the humidifier plugged in, so God willing I could finally breathe and stop sounding so nasally. And it is time to try my smoothie. That is actually not bad at all. The PB Fit powder is actually tolerable, and I feel like the blueberries did help a little bit with the sweetness. It did mute a little bit of the chocolate and banana flavor, but it also still kind of melds together nicely. It's not the kind of smoothie that's gonna punch you in the face, but it is the kind of smoothie that's still like, that's enjoyable. And I'm getting some more fiber and some nutrients. I'm gonna actually kind of do a guesstimation of all the calories and macros and whatnot and see what I can plug on here. I had been using my MyFitnessPal to track, and they started getting kind of obnoxious with what they let you do in the free version and cut it down drastically. If you guys know of any calorie trackers where you can actually track your macros without having to pay a freaking monthly subscription, that's a good one. Please let me know. I have deemed it lunchtime, and of course Ray Liotta is very aware of that fact. So it's about 2:15 in the afternoon. I literally just have been kind of laying in bed all day because I feel like trash, and unfortunately I still feel like trash. The vaporizer's helping a little bit with my breathing, though my throat and my sinuses are killing me. But I was like, okay, if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, even if I don't really feel like eating in this particular instance, I think I need to eat regardless because my body needs some nutrients to actually be able to help with the whole immune system fighting off this cold thing. Okay, maybe my breathing's not that great because I'm out of breath.
Honey, you're a mess.
I did take a COVID test. That was at least negative. I decided that I needed to kind of make the effort to feel a little bit better in any way possible. So I dragged myself out of bed after, of course, making sure to finish like 90% of my water bottle. I still have a little bit left, and I'm going to attempt to finish a second one before the end of the day. And I got up, I took a second, and I shaved my armpits, put on some deodorant, put on an actual outfit instead of just pajamas, even though I'm frankly probably not leaving the bed. And then I decided to warm up my lunch. It is definitely not an attractive lunch, but it is a protein heavy lunch, so that part is nice. It literally looks like slop. I usually sprinkle a couple of Ritz crackers on top just to help a little bit with a little bit more richness of flavor and the appearance, because my husband literally saw it and was like, ugh. The progressive Progresso, not car insurance, Southwest style black beans. You get 2 cans of those. Then you mix in 1 container of fajita seasoned chicken meat that you can get prepackaged from Walmart. It is more expensive to do that way, but every now and then I end up trading the cost for the convenience because I just want to make sure I have something to eat. And you mix that all together with a little bit of shredded cheddar cheese. I also added in a couple of globs of plain Greek yogurt just to help with the creaminess aspect, so it's more of a chowder. And I think that the next time I do this, because it still needs a little something and it also needs some vegetables, the next time I do this, I think I'm gonna like steam some carrots and add it in there just for a little bit more natural sweetness. But honestly, it's not bad. This is definitely one of those meals that I like to have on hand if it's just one of those like, okay, I'm either gonna order Pizza Hut or I'm gonna at least eat something that is, yes, slightly processed, but a lot less processed than Pizza Hut, and this is a better option. Although I don't know how much of it I could actually taste, my nose being all janky. It does have a mild kick to it, but it's tolerable. Normally I would have it with a cup of milk, but I don't know if I'll be able to breathe at all if I have milk. It's hard to chew when you can't breathe. So I'm just curious, if you guys have any meals that are like the I can throw this together in 5 seconds kind of thing, can you comment them below? Because I would greatly appreciate it.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Hi, lovely humans. It is, believe it or not, 5 freaking days later, and believe it or not, I am still freaking sick.
You're trying to kill me!
It has moved from all the upper respiratory stuff to my chest, so I sound like a 400-year-old man with a rough smoker's cough. Courtesy of getting so sick and feverish that I basically barely ate for the last few days, I didn't get to show y'all what I wanted to show you that I normally have been trying to make for my lighter, like more enjoyable dinners. And that is basically a modified version of an egg salad. So I wanted to come back and show you today. I'm trying to gradually find meals that make my life easier, and this is definitely one of them. All you have to do is boil 5 eggs. And if you don't want to deal with hard boiling eggs, you can literally buy them at the grocery store. You basically get 5 of them, put a little bit of light mayo and a heavy dollop of non-fat plain Greek yogurt, and a smidge of whatever type of mustard you prefer. All I really ever have is honey Dijon, so that's what I added. Then you mix it all up, and instead of putting it on top of toast, the slightly healthier but still texturally satisfying option is to get a cucumber and cut it in half lengthwise, scoop out all of the seeds, and you can leave the peeling on or off. I absolutely detest peeling on cucumbers, so I take mine off, but if you want a little bit of an extra chew, I would probably keep it on. You put your filling in there, and you add a little bit of everything but the bagel seasoning and parsley on top. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I'm barely just sitting down to have lunch because I wasn't hungry. It is ridiculous how much appetite being sick just takes away from you. What, did you smell food? It's not for you, she wishes. All right, let's see if my eyeballing it came out any better this time. Sometimes I go too heavy-handed. Yes, you're very cute and you're still not getting any. A little heavy-handed with the garlic, but not bad at all. Yes, my love. You're still not getting any. No, I'm sorry. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving it a like, and if you found something in it helpful, please subscribe and join our little community. We're all trying to get healthy here one step at a time. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you guys do not have any colds like I do right now and are having a healthy winter instead. And I will see you lovely, lovely humans next time, and hopefully sounding less nasal. Bye-bye!